Welcome everybody to another Three Geeks podcast. It's a conversation with Ogie Banks and our good friend Max. Wonderful to have you, Ogie. You've done just 1,000 things. I was really happy and excited to talk to you. Can you tell folks a little bit about yourself? Just a ton of stuff.
Yeah, no problem. Ogie Banks. I'm a voiceover actor. I've been doing it for well over 20 years. The first question people always ask is, how did you get started? Well, I was doing on-camera act. Well, no. First I was a dancer. I used to dance in like music videos and shows and movies and stuff. Then I got into singing. I was a music artist. I'm a solo music artist, started singing. Then I got into acting, started doing some on-camera acting and stuff, booked some parts. And from there, moved into the voiceover world, really through my on-camera acting world. I knew nothing about voiceovers. My agent introduced it to me when I had an audition, and I booked it. I booked my first one and kind of went from there. And doing it now for over 25 years, I've been on, like I was telling Justin earlier, I've been on $1 million projects. I've been on $100 projects, you know what I mean? And everything in between, you know? And it's been a long journey. It's been a great journey. I also, now that I'm a senior in the game, I teach a lot, you know? So I'll teach, I have some celebrity clients, and I have some beginner clients, and I teach children to adults, you know? So, and I love that, you know, I take time and pride in that, to help people out. And yeah, is that what you wanted?
1,000%. And you sparked a question that I've never thought about, but I think you've just what you brought up. When you teach voice acting, what's like a common issue like everybody has, from the celebrity to the beginner? Like, is there a key thing? Not to give your game away and not to not get you paid to teach, but like
how much do we charge for this?
You cannot give my game away. Do not worry about that. No, the thing about it is, well, for one, the number one thing, acting. Mm-hmm. You have to have your acting skills down. Lots of people think, you know, they go through that old saying of a voice. Oh, I have a nice voice. Nobody cares about how nice your voice is. Nobody, because somebody can imitate that voice. Somebody can do that voice. You know, it's about your acting. Can you act with that voice? Really, number one is acting. And so, like, a big thing that people do is when they get a script, or you know, it's one thing to see something on television or to listen to it on the radio, but once you get that script in your hand, that microphone in front of your face, all of a sudden people turn into performers, you know what I mean? And they think they have to perform the script and they have to be something outside of what the whole script or the whole thing entails, you know? So that's the biggest thing. The biggest thing is just your acting chops, you know, getting your acting chops down, because I wouldn't have been able to do any of this if I didn't go to all those acting classes. Because that was the one thing, because my mom, she came in my room and said, "Boy, get up." She didn't really hit me like that, but she's like, "Boy, get up." She goes, you got to do something. You can't just sit here on the weekend, because I can't play sports, you know, I'm kind of short and small and stuff. So, you know, I can't do the sports. So she's like, getting some classes. So I took some dance classes. My sister's going to dance classes. So I'm with her, and kind of gotten, you know, found my way through the arts and stuff. And from that, though, when I started acting, I took like classes. I would drive like an hour and a half, you know, to the valley, you know, to take my acting classes at these acting studios, you know, with some really good people, you know, really good teachers, really good students. But I would do it like weekly for years, for many years. You know, lots of people, you know, my friends didn't know that at the time, because I wasn't telling them. But you have to put all that work in. I mean, it's like the acting don't just come. You know, I didn't just pick up the piece of paper and just like whoosh, I know what to do. I mean, somebody had to teach me, you know, somebody had to teach me how to do it. So, you know, so getting your acting skills down, but taking the time to get your acting skills down, you know. So a lot of people want this to, you know, they think if they come, they go, okay, so how many classes do I need before I'm on TV? I'm like,
that really depends on you.
I can't work with you. I can't work with you. Or if their mom will say that. So how many classes before my daughter becomes Kim Kardashian or something? I'm like, no.
That's a gray Jay, I think.
Oh my goodness.
Oh wow. Yeah, but you get all kinds. But the bottom line, answer your question. I would say get your acting skills down. Take your classes, get your acting skills down, and then dive into it. And you'll have much more success than like just saying, oh, I have a cute voice. Let me try to go and be Peter Cottontail.
So one more kind. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I don't know why I thought of Peter Cottontail. I have no idea.
The go with cute voice. You have a cute bunny rabbit voice.
He's been smoking for 25 years.
OG, in your freaking million jobs that we're looking up, scrolling through here, I'm seeing you're on a lot of anime. You're on one of my favorite animes of all time, Naruto. And you get to play a character who's like one of the quieter badasses, but I was really wondering, like, is it different working with like for an anime where it was a different language first and you kind of have to switch it over to English now? Is that an interesting process? Do you hate it? Do you not care? Like,
no, yeah, it's Max. It's a very interesting process. It's hard. The reason why I find it hard is because if I do, say, one of my other shows, say Ghost Force, which is on Disney Channel, and so they say, okay, OG, you doing Ghost Force on Thursday, and it'll be like Monday, Tuesday. Go, here's the script. Check out the script. Prepare yourself. When it comes to Naruto, I get nothing. I get a time and a day, and that's about it. And they go, you better hush your mouth. Don't you say nothing. Okay. So I get the time and the day, and they give me no script, no preparation, no nothing. So you gotta, when you walk in the studio, I'm like, okay, I'm here, and I know I have no idea what my character's gonna do. I have no idea what my character's gonna say, but I'm here to perform, And then on top of that, you have the timing thing. You know what I mean? That you have to say things in a certain time. So there's some of the timing thing, and then dealing with the timing thing, and then putting all your acting juices within those times to make it sound all good.
Right.
So all those elements, that's why it's always scary when they call me, because I have no idea what I'm doing, and then this is what happens. So then I go in the room and they go, okay, pick up that binder. Binder? What you mean a binder? We don't have like 10, 15 pages. No, pick up that binder. Turn to this and whatever. And I'm like, oh my goodness. Because I'm thinking, okay, maybe if I show up a little early, I can see the script a little bit and read. No. When they call you in, it's time to start. So I'll open up the binder, and then I'll look for my parts, and here's another thing that's hard, because they're talking to you, explaining things, but I'm nervous because I don't know what's going on. I don't know what the hell's going on. So I'm trying to read things, like I'm trying to read the script and everything, and listen to them as they're talking to me. These are skills that you need in the business, because you got to be able to listen and to like get on your game at the same time. You know what I mean? Like that's a fine balance. So just to know what's going on, even though they do explain the scene, what's going on, the character, they explain it all its, to its goodness and everything. But I just need all the help I can get when I'm in there. You know what I mean? So I'm trying to read and see what other people said and stuff, because they don't really show any of the scenes. I don't see the scenes before. I don't see the scenes after. I just see my little part, my little lines. And the other stuff is in gray and stuff in between. I'm just reading that gray part. Trying to figure out, okay, all right, this is what's going on. Okay, but it's complicated. So take that into consideration when I do a Ghost Force. When they send me the script, I'm recording on Thursday and they send it to me on Monday. I read that puppy on Wednesday. I read it on Wednesday. I ain't reading it on Monday and Tuesday. I am lazy, so either I read it on Wednesday or Thursday morning, right? But I get to read it. I get to laugh. I get to giggle. So now, see, I'm on it. So take for instance, like the Ghost Force. Now we recorded on Thursday. They give me the script on Monday, right? I ain't reading on Monday, Tuesday. I'm lazy, like I said. I'm reading it Wednesday, Thursday morning. But here's the thing about it with a show like that, I'm able to read it, laugh, giggle, be like, oh, that's cool. I don't know about that, do all my opinions. I'm able to be like, oh, I think I should do it like this. Oh, this might be cool for me to do like that. Oh, my juices start just going, creative juices to start popping, when I get in there. And then when I get in there to record, I can read it a certain way, but then I can also play if they want me to do it a different way or whatever. Even if I say, hey, I got something, can I try this to see if it works? It's much more, much more inviting for that kind of stuff. So when I do any kind of anime, it's nothing like that. It's like, they know what they want. It's their time. You just read them what they want. Don't talk about it. Just do it. And it will come out fine,
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
Okay.
So what emotional direction do you get when it's all blurred? Like if you're reading one sentence, how do you know, like, are you angry in that sentence? Are you passionate? Are you sad?
That's right. The directors that I'm telling you, the directors that direct Naruto and all these anime shows, they do their job like over and beyond, because like what I just said, they understand that we as actors are coming in with nothing. When they have a show where they give the script to the actor, they know the actor, they better know what's going on. You know what I mean? But with an anime show, they know that we don't know. I don't know what's happening, so it's like, protect me, mommy, so they really get in depth with the characters. Not saying that the other people don't, everybody does, but they really set up the scene, like when I did my classes and everything, what my teachers did. They set up a scene for you to perform in that scene and be in that scene, and then you as an actor, you can take what they're saying, really create this scene, put yourself in the scene, and use these words and make them come out of your mouth like it's just water, But the directors, you're really depending on the directors, and of course, your natural skills of just being able to do what you do.
Man, that's insane to me though, because I mean, like you're saying, but with the timing, because like it's obviously in a different language to start, and it was the animation is made for someone speaking that language. So like when you got to fill in, like even though a whole thing in Japanese might be 3 words in English, you got to somehow make that work. And so like I don't know, I figured they give you more prep time. But that's crazy to me that they're just like, no, here's your work, like blah blah blah, get to it. Like that is insane.
I'm telling you, Max, and I'm like, well, maybe one day this will change. And every time they call me, I'm like, well, maybe they're gonna send me a script this time. Nope.
Okay, you just keep hope alive, right?
Yeah.
So are you more invested to rewatch old works of yourself in anime that is grayed out, so you actually can see the story you're actually presenting to people?
No, it's hard for me to watch anything that I do. Yeah. I'm just so critical.
Sure.
I'm so critical.
Sure.
And then I hear all this chirping from everybody, so I'm just like, I just go crazy. So I'm just like, let me watch something. I'll watch some sports. Just to tune out. You know what I mean? Just to tune out a little bit. But I'll watch it but I don't watch it right away. I usually watch it way down the line.
Sure.
You know what I mean? When it's been out for a while or something, and then I'll like go through it. But usually when I watch it, then I think of that day, or I think about what was going on during that time. Stuff like that. Reminisce.
That has to be fun. Like think about the cast days and the meeting the people and things like that. I'm sure that's great. That's cool.
Oh yeah. Especially in the past, like before pandemic, reminiscing on the shows. Yes. After pandemic, not so much.
No.
Reason why is because before pandemic, like when we did Spider-Man, when we did Ultimate Spider-Man, you know what was so cool about that record was they set up the room like a horseshoe. Basically, think of a horseshoe, right?
Okay.
You had the good guys on one side going all the way to the bad guys on the other side, and the people in between at the top of the horseshoe. So when Drake Bell and I are sitting there fighting the Green Goblin and everything, they're right across from us. And we're like, we're going to get you, Green Goblin. And the Goblin's like, no, you're not, but that energy and everything in that room is just insane. It's insane. Now, after pandemic, it's like at your home studio, or you go into the studio there, but there ain't nobody around. I'm like,
that's rough.
I'm by myself. And hopefully hopefully an actor came in and read the line before, so you can hear something before to get you read in. But that, it's a little harder on actors now because with that situation, because you really have to jump yourself in the scene. You can't really use other people's energy. And, we're human beings. So like to vibe off of everybody's energy, like when you're at a concert, when you're at a game, when you're at, anything, that vibe of energy, you don't get that live energy vibing, but you have to create that. So that's another element of acting I had to, build on top of my other acting skills,
Oh, for sure.
It's just jumping into the scene, getting into the scene and getting excited, having that same excitement as if the Green Goblin is across the room like they were like years ago. You know what I mean? So, but I know what that's like. So I kind of know how to build myself up with that same excitement and to make my mind, I get a little crazy and I see Green Goblin over there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, like I was thinking, for voice actors, like, with COVID and everything that happened, it's like, hey, well, at least like you don't have to go out to to do your job. But that's I was not even counting on, like, there is a human factor that's missing. It's got to be a lot harder, especially like you're saying, if someone can read ahead of you and you can get their line, but like, what if you're the first guy?
Yeah. And then what they say is, we ain't got nothing for you, OG. You're gonna have to ride this. You're gonna have to ride this alone. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, I'll be the template.
Yeah, thinking about Ultimate Spider-Man, and you have a plethora of character voices on that show. Is that hard as a voice actor? Is it jumping from Miles Morales to Luke Cage to Kid Arachnid? Is that a hard thing to do? Is it weird to get in those different mind frames, especially if they're all in the same episode and you're kind of recording back and forth? Is that weird or hard?
No. It can be, but to me, I look at it as, being in the business as long as I have, like, it's such a challenge.
Sure.
I took it on as a challenge, like, and so even when I rehearsed it and, like, I mean, of course, getting the part of Luke Cage, I was like, and then Miles Morales, I was like, how many?
Yeah, I mean,
you know what I mean? All right. So then I'm like, and then on the same show. So, but check it. Here's like, I'll never forget the first time I got the script and Luke Cage and Miles Morales were in the same scene, right? And I'm like, I said, they talking to each other. I was like, I even had a moment. I said, oh, well, that's crazy. They talking to each other. They actually talking to each other. I don't know why, but I'm like, well, that's cool. And so, perhaps then I have my Luke Cage voice, and then I have my Miles Morales voice. You know what I mean? And then I could jump back and back and forth. I kind of do that in my mind already all the time. You know what I mean? I do that really all the time anyway. So I would just jump back and forth. Of course, I could rehearse it just as Luke. I rehearse it just as Miles. But then the back and forth. But then the day of record comes, and like I'm telling you, that energy.
Yeah.
That energy when you're in the room and all these people are in the room. You know what I mean? It just. It just hypes you up even more. I'm feeling like Kobe out there. I so wish.
I could not handle it. I
Wait,
would be
slams like this. I don't think anybody slams like this.
Oh yeah, you do the 360.
You do. OG does. OG does.
Yeah, no, I know I would be talking, I'd be using my Luke Cage voice. It's like, actually, that's a Miles line. It's like,
Can we do this one over?
Yeah, it's like,
sorry, Stan.
Oh man. Okay, but the day of that record, I go in there and they ask, they go, so Ogie, they go, would you like to first read Luke's lines and then read Miles' lines? I said no. I said, let's do it. And I swear, they go, they kind of all looked at each other and they go, okay. You know?
Yeah, but if you can do it, you can do it, right?
Like, there was kind of crickets in there. And then I remember, because it was like the whole scene. And so I just went for it. And then afterwards, I didn't know if I did good because it was so quiet, right? It was so quiet. And then it was just, all of a sudden I hear this. Ogie Banks, ladies and gentlemen. Wow. You know, I was like, yeah, cool. I rocked that scene. You know, But I mean, come on, man. I was reading that script. I was so into it when I was reading it. I was rehearsing it. I was practicing it. I felt so proud to do it. You know, my creative acting juices were just all on point, you know? So yeah, that was fun.
So you had said, you know, you've done like $1,000 jobs, you've done $100 jobs. When it's $100 job, you know, and you can see like maybe the writing isn't as on point or whatever, like, you know, but like you're here, like do you have more fun with those where, you know, like you're kind of like, okay, well, I'm just gonna do a thing or what, like, or is it like, or do you know, treat everything the same, or how do you come at it?
I come at it like this. I come at it as like it's a job, and no matter what, it's a part of my VO adventure. So I don't take anything lightly. And plus it has my name on it and it's gonna have my voice on it. So I want it to be as good as possible, right? So I don't ever slip on anything. So if anything, more fun, I have as much fun as they will allow me to have. Now, if they allow me to be creative, now sometimes I'll get in there, they say, okay, Ogie, we need you can just be your Ogie, just go off, and if you want to do some things, I'm like, oh, okay, thank you. And then some things, even, you know, they'll just be like, no, we have this and we want it like this. And it's for our marshmallows, and that's all it is, you know. You don't want any extra fireworks or bells, you know. And I'm like, oh,
no sprinkles on the marshmallows.
no secret sauce. You know, but that's where I trust in the team of people. Whatever the project is, I realize these people have been working with this project or this product for a long time, months, maybe years. So they know all the ins and outs of it. When it comes to the voiceover part, that's towards the end of the project a little bit, you know, as they've been working with their baby. So that's their baby. So they're bringing their baby to me, like, we want you to be a part of our baby, right? And so I'm like, okay, cool. So I feel honored to be a part of it. So I listen, and I know that they have an idea of how they want this to come out. I don't know. I mean, I do have my ideas, but I don't know the whole idea of how they want their show or their product to come out. So I just know that I'm a part of whatever it is to make it its best. So within that, I go to, you know, the clients, the people, and I ask, I go, what do you want? How much can I, you know, what do you need from me in order to make this go? And some of them tell me, you know, they want this, and some of them tell me they want this, you know, so, and or whatever in between. And you know, and that's where it comes to like the ego and all that kind of discipline, and just knowing like, hey, being a part of a team, I'm a part of this team, and they know how to make this look, what's going to make this look good. When I'm doing a show and I do a line and the engineer's like, oh, I like that one. I can see like on the, you know, during the drawing, like how that's going to work out in that scene, blah, blah, blah. But I don't hear that. I don't see all that, you know. I'm just doing what I do. So I attack it the same way, man. I attack it the same way. I'm like, how much can I play? How much do I have to hold back?
That's cool. That's cool.
Let me know.
And that creative process, is that where you're developing kind of the voice of the character then? Does that go a lot into it? Or have you had times where you have a long-running series and you kind of tweak the voice between seasons or even episodes? Or like, rather having a consistent sound for a certain voice.
So usually how you find your voices in the audition process, if you audition, when I'm auditioning, I'll have like at least a couple voices in mind for myself, just some go-to voices. Now say I book many jobs and I get there and they go, okay, we're going to find the voice. I go, okay, we'll find the voice. And so they'll sit there and they'll say, okay, give me something, blah, blah, blah. And I'll give me something, da, da, da. Nah, we don't like that. Give me something, da, da, da. Nah, we don't like. Stop saying no.
This is cold here.
I'm trying. No, but sometimes, and then we'll find a voice. They go, oh yeah, that, and then they start tweaking the voice like that. I've been in many sessions where they do that. Or I come in with my voice, I come in with my kid voice or something like that, and within the first 3-4 episodes, they really find the sweet spot of the character, and once they find that sweet spot, then the writers and everybody, they know how to do for that character. They know. So usually in shows, like the first couple 3-4 episodes, they're finding really the characters and their spots and working with everybody, and then boom, you go off. Now, as the years go, and you have the same character as the years go, like as the years go, whatever. I'm getting lost in my mind. Anyway, your voice doesn't change. That is the character's voice. They do not want you to change that voice. They took the time to find that voice and develop that voice and to create that voice that now that's the voice they want. And here's something. So I do Barbie, right? I go and I do Barbie and I play Ned and Ted. Ned and Ted, they're twins, One's skinny, one's heavy set, and Ned's like this and Ted's like this, cool, Ted, but I remember I wasn't feeling well. I wasn't feeling that well. I was coming off of a cold. And I went into the studio and I was trying to play Ned. And I was like, hey, guys. And they go, no, that don't sound like Ned. They go, no, that doesn't sound like him. And I'm like, what? Oh, you can hear that? And then it's just weird. So I'll do it, they go, it still doesn't sound like him. And I'm like, damn, these people are good. That's what I'm like, well, they can hear, They have not only one, but 2 ears.
2 good ears.
Finely tuned.
But then that also reminds me of like how everything matters, how they are paying attention to every little thing. And I love that. So when I'm thinking, oh, did I do good that day? Yes, I did, because they will not let me falter. These people, they want Max, if it's your show, you want your show to be good. Justin, if it's your show, you want your show to be good. So you're going to be like, well, I'm going to make Ogie sound good today because I want to. We ain't going to have Ogie leaving and like, oh, this was a shitty record today. you ain't going to that.
But that's crazy too, because like you said, you're coming off of a cold. So like, that's not really something you can help, it's not really your fault. You don't sound like, like in your head, you're doing all your muscle memory is doing the same thing. It's just not coming out the same. That's very interesting. Like, have you had many experiences where you had to like
oh yeah, that's
kind of
train
like, your voice up or down just to kind of deal with what you're dealing with?
Yeah, sometimes you got to push. Sometimes I push through it if I can. I'll push through it like if I really know. But a lot of times, like if it's bad, like I just have to take a day, like a voice day, and I just can't talk that day and can't do anything. And I gotta strengthen that voice to where I can push through, because you can still be a little, and I can push through if I'm still, strong enough, if I rested my voice. But yeah.
I didn't even think about that.
Are all the Are all the voices? Let me rephrase. Are there any voices that like you can do like an hour with? Like there's certain like pitches or tones or certain octaves that are just like, hey, I can do it, but like let's not make this a long session because this is gonna really burn up my voice.
Yeah, well, video games. So when it comes to video games, that's a big thing when the voice where you can ruin, not ruin your voice, but
yeah,
you'll be hoarse the next day. Let's say.
Yeah.
But we solved that a while ago, like with video games. Like, so now what they do is we save all the dying stuff till the end. You know what I mean? So they're going like, OG, you will die at the end. All the screaming, all the falling off the cliffs, all that at the very end. Taking breaks in between. You know what I mean? And then yourself as the actor, of course, you're excited to be in there. You want to do a good job, but you can't push through things like that, because you might not have a job the next day, but yes, you do. Auditions are jobs, going in and talking to any kind of business or anything within your day. Those are jobs. So you can't, your mouthpiece, your voice, you need that. So make sure you take care of yourself and give yourself those breaks and, not push through. Another thing is that's why it's good to you don't pick a voice that, I'm gonna pick a voice and do a voice. This is my voice. Well, you can't do that damn voice. That voice. You can only do that voice for a minute, boy. You know what I'm saying? It's like, don't do that. You can't. Don't do that. Be smart. But all the dying and stuff, they usually save all that stuff till the end. Or sometimes if it's a lot of dialogue, they'll just do a day of the dying. So they'll save that for another day or something.
Gotcha.
But even if it's a regular show, they try to push all that extraneous voice stuff towards the end, which is good. Yeah. I mean, especially when it's early in the morning, when it's like 8 a.m. record, 9 a.m. record. It's like, I don't want to do that at 7 a.m.
Like, can I finish my coffee first?
Earlier.
Oh my goodness. It's like, it's 7 o'clock. You've been impaled.
Totally. It's like now, right? We couldn't do this at 3.
No.
So you have a lot of projects over the course of, like, let's say a single year. Do you have a lot of overlap in terms of jumping from one set and voice to another set and voice, or do you try to space that up?
I have a good story with that one.
Yeah.
So I was booked on this job. I believe it's Vault the Wonder Year. I think I was doing Vault. I'm not sure. So I'm in there recording, and I'm like doing the record, and it's like, and I was in there for like about an hour or two or so.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, it was in the middle of the record, and they go, "Oh, hold on, OG, hold on," And Colette Sunderman, who's this voiceover director, phenomenal voiceover director. She did all of Spider-Man and tons of stuff, Muppet Babies, everything. She comes into their booth, and she's like, they're talking, and I'm like, oh, okay, and I'm like, I wave to her and everything, and so then they come back on, and they go, OG, you are actually booked on another session right now. That's in the other room. So you have to leave this session and then come back. Leave this session, go to that one, and then come back to this one, and run around. It's like, oh my God. So sometimes the times get a little confused and mixed. Especially when think of the agencies, like they have so many clients, and then I have my personal calendar, and then they're trying to work with my personal calendar, and then everybody else's personal calendar, and then all my stuff, and then all that stuff. So yeah, sometimes things get jumbled. But that was the funniest thing, because I remember walking over with Colette, and she goes, "Did you know you were supposed to see me?" I said, I did, but I thought it was the next day or later.
Yeah, they are also paying me. Yeah.
Oh, and then it's like, isn't it wonderful to feel wanted?
Yeah.
For sure.
I was like, wow, I was wanted that day. They wanted me.
They needed all of those.
Then you go home to nothing. Then you go home. I go home to my TV and video games. I'm like, they were loving me before.
We need to get OG a dog. Where should I go find him?
Oh man.
So, what are you working on right now, OG? Can you share anything with us?
A lot. I wish a lot of stuff is NDA, but What can I say? I don't know.
All right, well, you are working now. Working hard.
Okay, I can say this. Yeah, I have some new stuff coming out. Some new anime stuff that you're gonna be happy with. Max, you know.
All right.
Anime stuff coming out. I just did what just came out is the Great Wolf Lodge, which is I don't know, it's just the indoor water park. So I'm one of their new characters on. Well, they revamped the characters, so I'm one of the raccoons there, which is great. I got to bring my son there for the
that's awesome.
All right,
for the opening, which was cool. First time I ever did something like that, which was awesome. You know, Vivica Fox was there, Mario Lopez was there.
All right,
all these people. Look at these people. Look what I bring you to. Look what I bring you to. You know. Ghost Force is coming out. I think we're getting ready for our second season on that one. But I think I have some video game stuff coming out. You really can't. I just that's all I can say about video.
Yeah, don't get in trouble. Don't get in trouble.
All I say is something's coming in the water. Some will be coming around the mountain. You know?
Rockstar's coming.
Yeah, that's all I can really say. Oh, here's a job I can talk about. They don't NDA me on. Is it's so interesting. I played this little alien character that teaches languages to people around the world, right? And it's basically like these ABC mouse people, right? So they came to me and they said, Ogie, do you know the most spoken language in the world? No. Why would I know this? I'm not on Jeopardy. I don't play trivia. No. and they said, well, it's Mandarin. I said, now, see, I would have never guessed that in a million. Would you have guessed that, Justin?
No, I would not.
With Max?
No, I thought maybe Arabic, but I was
right?
wrong.
Yeah. I would have went everywhere around Mandarin, right? Because I would not have known that. So it started with that, and then now I started. He's doing with all these languages. It's just this little. So it's really cool to, that's a fun job. It's like, oh, that's a bicycle. It's kind of like the basics. Yeah. It's weird because doing like a Spider-Man and we're gonna go over here and then I come back and I'm teaching people how to read bicycle, crayon. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But you really have to pronounce it right. So I love it. And plus I have a 5-year-old son, so I'm doing. I'm all into it. But that's one thing that's an interesting project that I really like working on. And then that's something where you don't think about it till later. Like now I'm talking to you guys about it. It's like, oh yeah, you're helping like lots of people. Like lots of people.
the most known language. You're helping a lot of people.
Exactly. Yeah. I was like, oh yeah,
that's pretty big. Yeah. It's not bad. No.
It's a good day, OG. It's a good day.
Mama cooked the breakfast with no hog, right?
As the great warrior poet Ice Cube would say, if the day does not require an AK, it is good.
Yes.
I do have to ask you one more thing. What was it like being in Monty Moore from Power Rangers? I know it's not voice work. I just don't think it's voice work. Oh, I'm going all the way down to you.
Dude, that was awesome because it was out. I was a fan already, and so like being the Dark Rangers, that's what we were. They had the Power Rangers. We were the Dark Rangers. So when we were on set, I really became good friends with the fellow actors. The Dark Rangers. And so I remember me and the guy who's playing the Red Ranger, like we were like, okay, dude. We gotta beef it up because we're the Dark Rangers. We gotta look tough. Yeah. So I remember we shared a trailer, dude. I don't know how many push-ups we did that day. I think we did. we were like, we want to look good and we want to look buff. It did not help at all.
He just out of breath.
We both look like sticks. We both look like little sticks. But we was in the trailer doing all these push-ups and we are filling our muscles and nothing. Right?
I'm sure you were popping. It's fine.
That Dark Ranger was ripped.
You're too hard on yourself.
But okay. One of the cool things was going into the offices, right? So you walk into the office and they have all the life-size like creatures that they used on the show, like all these like pieces, all these creatures were all over the place. Like it was like all this Power Ranger stuff because they filmed like the the kid stuff, our stuff, like during the one time, and then at the same time they would be filming the fighting stuff just like over around the way with the guys in the full-on costume, doing doing that stuff. So we'd be filming kind of at the same time, and all that. So, and it was all around the same place, all in the same area. So all that equipment, all that wardrobe, so the monsters and the high school stuff, it was all right there. So it was just like, whoa, it was kind of like overload, bro. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Where did the bro come? What?
We got morphed in there.
It was
like, I'm sure Alpha told you. It's great.
Yeah.
Burrito.
But we filmed. I remember we filmed all the way up Castaic Lake, which is right past Six Flags Magic Mountain out here in LA, Valencia, California. So I remember we filmed out there, and I believe that's the same place they filmed the original Batman series. I believe the original Batman series in like the Bat Cave where the car was coming out. I think that was up there, like in that area. That's why they chose that area for the filming. And I remember meeting the Power Rangers, right? So then when I met the Power Rangers, right, it was lunch. So they called lunch, and so they had the Power Rangers on one side and us Dark Rangers were on the other side of the table. We just happened to be on the table, right? And they were cool as hell. I was so surprised that they were cool as hell. I mean, I was like, I had a moment because I said, you know what, y'all? I said, you all are so cool. I said, I walked up in here thinking y'all was gonna be a bunch of assholes. I said, but y'all are cool. He said, well, wait a minute, OG. He said, you thought we were gonna be mean? And I said,
now they're gonna be mean.
I said, I sure did. And they go, no, we cool. I swear, I'm still friends with Walter Jones today. Yeah. Who's the Black Ranger? Him and I are still really good friends. I'll see him at Comic-Cons. He's like, "Come on out, OG. You coming out with me?" I'm like, "No, I'm not coming out. I'm going to bed, Walter. I'm going to bed. I'm old. I'm going to bed." But that was that, and that's probably why that was one of my funnest times. Is like because I'm still friends with Walter today. Just like with Newsies, when I did Newsies with Christian Bale and all those guys, that was, I worked on that film for like 2 years. We worked on that for like 2 years.
Oh my God, I've seen that movie like 800 times. I'm sorry.
Yes. And a lot of those cats, I'm still friends with them. A lot of those cats. Especially like the younger ones, because we were kids. We were like the young ones on the set, so we had to have a teacher on the set. So we'd have to go to school every day. So that's how we got really tight. So we all still talk today. But that's like what's so cool about these projects, and it's like happy and sad. It's like happy being on the set, being in the studio, being on these projects on anything, and then meeting these beautiful people, creative people, wonderful people. And then you're working on a project and you might work on it for a year or 2 years. But when that project's done, then it's like you don't work, you really don't, that group is not together. So then it's like oh man. But so you just have these pockets of groups of people you worked at. Unlike like, my dad, he's been working on his job for so many years, or you know what I mean? So he has his group of people, or he's changed jobs maybe 2 times or 3 times. But how many y'all said, wow, over 100 times changing jobs, basically. So getting that, so I really appreciate and really cherish like the friendships that I make and like holding on to friends, because it's hard to do when you have limited time with people,
Yeah,
so sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no, you go ahead.
So I guess you brought up a good question, I think. Was your childhood in terms of education, was that really weird then, jumping into Newsies and like you mentioned you had class in school with those kids, like jumping back into like maybe a normal high school or middle school, whichever grade you were in? Was that odd or was that hard?
Yeah, that was hard. That was hard. Nobody understood. I was like alienated a little bit. And so it's like it was like once I left, they were like, "You left," we didn't see this, so they didn't.
Yeah, life goes on.
Yeah, I really couldn't go back to school and have friends. I didn't know anybody. They didn't know me. It was kind of like I basically showed up. It was in high school when I did. I remember showing up for high school, and everybody was like, "Who are you?" You know what I mean? I was like, "Don't you remember me, freshman year?"
I know it's almost graduation day, but
I wear my cap just like everybody else.
I remember. It's like nobody signed my yearbook, And I was like, I don't know who to get to sign my yearbook or who I want to sign. I was like, I don't know you fools, But okay, it's cool. But yeah, that was really, and then the schoolwork too, because my teacher on the set was totally different than the teachers at the school, So that was a little hard, but made it through. But yeah, but just the social aspect sucked.
Yeah,
that sucked.
Yeah,
for sure.
And Max, did you have a question? Sorry, I think
I was just gonna say it's kind of like you're having 100 jobs, being 100 places. It's sort of like being in the military. Like you're like, okay, well, I'm here now, but like, don't get too used to everything because I'm not gonna be here in 3 months. Like,
yeah. That's why. I guess that's why I like shows like Survivor. Because it's like, as soon as you get comfortable, you get voted off the island. You know what I mean? I never get comfortable.
Oh, are you happy? We're going to fix that real quick.
No, I need to get comfortable. I'm never comfortable. I'm like, I'm going to get voted off the island soon. That's what I think. Yeah. So it's the curse of the beast. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, you were on my favorite childhood show as a kid, Rugrats. How was that? Do you remember that at all? Oh, are we frozen?
Yeah, that's a great face to freeze up.
No, I'm gonna clip that. Oh, that's so good. Oh, gee, you froze on us. You made a great face. I'll send it to you. Did you catch my question though? When you?
Oh no, I didn't hear it. No.
Okay, no worries. You were on like my favorite childhood TV show, like Rugrats. How was that? Do you remember that at all? Like in terms of
totally.
Yeah.
Charlie Adler, that was the director. Charlie Adler, he is like one of the best. That was awesome. I remember when I walked into that record, it was over at Nickelodeon.
Yeah.
Back there in Hollywood. And seeing EG and everybody like in there, and then it's one thing, right, dude? I'm going to get there. I'm like, oh my God, it's the Rugrats. They're right here. And so then I go to, and I go in my little booth to record, but they're like, this is what they do. They set me up in my little booth and they go, okay, Ogie, just sit right there. We'll be right with you. And I'm like, okay, I'm in the room with them, right? I'm like, okay, I'm ready. I'm looking at the script and everything. And then all of a sudden you hear Tommy talking. I'm like, oh my God, that's them. Damn. I get that happens all inside though, y'all.
I'm sure.
Yeah, you gotta play cool. You gotta play cool.
I'm just sitting there going, whew, maybe my eyes are showing it.
Put your COVID mask on.
Yeah. Oh, this was way before then, boy. But that was fun. And then that was towards the beginning, and I was very nervous. With that one, but I knew EG. I knew a lot of those people through associations. And so when I got in there, I was a little comfortable. I was a bit comfortable too, and they made me even more comfortable when greeting me, saying hello, the way hugging me and making me feel comfortable. And then Charlie Adler, the way that he directs, he gets it out of you, boy. He gets it out of you. You know what I mean? The things he comes up with to help you get into the scene and to bring out that voice and the character out of you. It's just amazing. So, and I remember walking out of that record. I'll never forget. I remember walking out of that record and just doing like wow, I can't believe that just happened kind of feeling. You know what I mean? And it was just like, I can't believe I just did that. You know what I mean? I was like, I just did that, Yeah, that was really cool. That was really cool. And also I didn't go home to just by myself. I went home to somebody. I had my had Beatty back then. Had my little dog back then.
Felt welcomed back. Yes.
I'm so glad you're there to see me.
Yeah, somebody's glad to see me. Yeah.
Quick question about the dog. Like, have you ever had a pet like react to like? Let's say you're watching yourself. You know, it's years later. Have you ever had a pet react to your voice coming out of the TV?
I had, yeah. Beatty did. Yeah, Beatty did once. Yeah. I was on TV. I was doing something on TV, and he ran to the TV and barked to the TV. Only one time. Only one time. Only one time that happened. Only one time that happened.
Figured it out. He's like, oh, wait a minute. This is a trick.
Now that I think about it, I'm like, only one time. I'm like, maybe it wasn't even my voice. Maybe it was like something. Maybe he heard a chirp.
No. This story is your voice. This is your story.
I'm trying to give myself credit, and I shouldn't give myself
credit. No, it's your voice. It's your voice.
You definitely did. No, it was you. Yeah, he was reacting to you.
He was super happy to hear your voice on the TV. That was you. I just thought about that. You could have just played all of your stuff while he was like, while you were away, just on the TV, just like, get used to my voice. Like, you know what I mean? Just like clips of you talking.
Backfire. That would backfire for me. You would just be used to like not paying attention to whatever I'm saying. They're like, I hear that voice all the time.
I tried that with my son. I tried to play my cartoons for my son to be like, hey, he just walks out the room. He walks out of the room. I'm like, okay. And one day.
He's like, Dad, you do this every day.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
No, that's too cool though. Like, I love animation so much that, like, I mean, I have mad respect for the voice actors. Like, it's
awesome.
It's got to be, it's a whole nother world. Like, because you're like, okay, well, now today you're Spider-Man, like, and you're like, oh, you're swinging around New York. Tomorrow you're an alien mouse teaching English to somebody who's Chinese. Say, like, that's crazy to like put your head in that, like, all those spaces.
Yeah. Little schizo action going on. That's for sure.
Just one more alien mouse before Ogie loses it. I mean, Ogie, anything you want to promote? I mean, I could have you on for like 2 hours, so I don't want to take too much of your time. But
Please, I would ask everybody if you can follow me on Instagram. It's Ogie Banks, O-G-I-E, Banks, B-A-N-K-S, Instagram, Facebook, all that stuff. Like any kind of support, I just need support. So if there's anything, if it says, do you like Ogie Banks, put a yes on there.
Check mark on there.
Start a Twitter poll. Who doesn't like Ogie Banks? Just like confuse them. Just like no yes.
If you see a project I'm on or something, you want to write a little something saying, "Ooh, that Ogie was good. Ooh, that Ogie. That brother brought it. Can he bring more? I need all the help I can get, y'all. I need all the help I can get. That's all right. Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Check him out. Ogie Banks on the Twitter, on the Instagram, Facebook, and wherever you can find him. Make sure you send that positivity his way. Ogie, thank you so much for coming on, man. You are wonderful.
I had a wonderful time.
All right.
Thanks, Ogie. See you, everybody.